evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lumpim Vishum. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 12th of January. Peshawar Army School reopens nearly a month after deadly Taliban attack. John Kerry sets agenda ahead of US President Barack Obama's India visit. And India's national capital to vote for new assembly on February 7th. And now for all the details. Nearly a month after Pakistan was struck by its deadliest Taliban attacks, the Peshawar Army School reopened gates on Monday. Schools across the country have been on an extended break following the December 16 massacre, which claimed the lives of more than 140 people.
Amid haunting memories and a lingering fear, students and teachers returned to their school in Peshawar for the first time ever since the place saw a bloody Taliban attack last month. With an aim to pacify a nervous atmosphere, Pakistan Army Chief General Raheel Sharif arrived in the army school to meet parents and the school staff. The pupils also held a prayer ceremony to remember their friends and teachers who became victims of the terror strike. Pakistan witnessed one of the biggest recent terror attacks when 6 heavily armed men stormed into an army school, opening indiscriminate fire. The Taliban said it was in retaliation to the ongoing Pakistani army crackdown in Waziristan. This comes as security continues to remain stepped up at schools across Pakistan. Under the comprehensive plan chalked out for the purpose, the government will allow only those schools and other educational institutions to reopen that would fulfill all required security conditions. Henceforth, several schools in commercial hub Karachi still await the government's nod to resume functioning.
Sri Lanka's new government has accused former President Mahinda Rajapaksa of trying to stage a military coup to remain in power following last week's crucial polls. President Maithripala Sirisena called on all political parties to join together for national unity.
In his first address to the nation ever since winning Sri Lanka's 7th president seat, Maithripala Sirisena announced that tackling poverty would be one of his government's main priorities. Sirisena was at the Temple of the Sacred Tooth relic on Sunday to take part in a Buddhist blessing ceremony. Despite hailing from the majority Sinhala Buddhist community, Sirisena reached out to ethnic minority Tamils and Muslims to garner support.
රටේ පොදු මහ ජනතාව රටේ අනාගත සංවර්ධනය අද ජීවත් වන ජනතාව වගේම හෙට උපදින දරුවන් සඳහා මේ රටේ සදාචාර සම්පන්න යහපාලනයකින් ආධ්‍යාත්මික ගුණවගාවකින් යුත් දුගීභාවයෙන් තොර නිදහස හා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදය තහවුරු කරමින් නීතියේ ආධිපත්‍ය සුරක්ෂිත කිරීමට ශක්තිමත් කිරීමට සර්වපාක්ෂික ආණ්ඩුවක් ජාතික ආණ්ඩුවක් පිහිටුවීම සඳහා පාර්ලිමේන්තුව නියෝජනය කරන සියලු දේශපාලන පක්ෂ පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ට මා ගෞරවයෙන් ආරාධනය කරනවා අපහා එක්වන ලෙස.
In the election results that were announced on Friday, Sirisena beat incumbent President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was bidding for an unprecedented third term with 51.3% votes. A top aide of Sirisena on Sunday revealed in a statement about a planned coup by the Rajapaksa camp, which was however averted after the army chief refused to abide. Sirisena, who began to negotiate and finalize his new cabinet, is likely to make an announcement this week. In what is being seen as a major shift in policy from Rajapaksa, President Sirisena said he wants closer ties with neighboring India, where he is scheduled to travel next month, his first state visit after assuming office.
US Secretary of State John Kerry on Monday stressed on enhancing ties with India ahead of President Barack Obama's visit to the country later this month.
John Kerry expressed willingness to expand commercial ties with India, calling it the right time to tap the incredible possibilities between the two nations. Addressing the ongoing Vibrant Gujarat Summit in Western Gandhinagar, the US Secretary of State lauded the Modi government and said Washington was keen to take the bilateral trade from $100 billion to $500 billion. Speaking on President Obama's visit during India's Republic Day celebrations, Kerry added that defense, civil, nuclear agreement and the economic partnership would top the agenda.
I know the President is very excited about being the first United States President to be honored as the chief guest during Republic Day commemorations, and also the first sitting American president to visit India twice while in office. After the very successful visit of the Prime Minister to Washington, really says a lot about the value that both countries place on the criticality of our relationship.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi had on Sunday inaugurated the vibrant Gujarat summit, hard selling India as next big investment hub.
Since the first day, my government is actively working to revive the economy. My government is committed to create a policy environment that is predictable, transparent, and fair.
Both US and India also discussed ways about safeguarding of maritime security and jointly combating global terrorism. Prime Minister Modi stated that India was getting ready to take a quantum leap, elevating the vibrant Gujarat summit he founded as the state chief in 2003 into an investment platform for India. The three-day conclave saw several world leaders in attendance, including UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and World Bank head Jim Yong Kim, apart from top business honchos.
Bangladesh Nationalist Party observed a day-long general strike in 14 districts of the country on Monday. This, however, coincided with the ruling Awami League celebrations of historic homecoming day of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Take a look.
The Awami League marked the historic return of country's founding father Sheikh Mujibur Rahman from Pakistani captivity on Monday. Mujib was arrested from his residence in Dhaka shortly after he declared Bangladesh's independence in March 1971. The occasion is celebrated every year with significance. This, however, came as the BNP forced a strike on Monday, which was in addition to the ongoing national transport blockade announced by Begum Khalida Zia early this month. The student wing of BNP, the Jatiyadabadi Chatra Dal, had on Sunday said the shutdown was to protest against the besieging of Zia by the government. The BNP Supremo has been confined to her office for a week, disabling her to leave the premises due to heavy police deployment. The party had also last week refused to call off its nationwide indefinite shutdown to facilitate peaceful observation of the Bishwa Ijtema. This, however, couldn't hamper the ongoing ceremonies as thousands of Muslim devotees continue to assemble on the banks of Turag River on the outskirts of capital Dhaka to attend the second largest Islamic congregation in the world. The first phase of the event concluded on Sunday with prayers for global peace, prosperity and fraternal harmony.
I have come over here to offer prayer with thousands of Muslims. This is the second biggest Islamic gathering. This is called Bishwa Ijtema. Here we offer prayer for all Muslim of the world, all people of the world for peace and prosperity.
Though the participation this year fell due to the unrest in Bangladesh, religious scholars and clerics from India, Iran and Saudi Arabia lead prayers and ceremonies being attended by devotees from across the globe. The second phase will be held from January 16 to 18.
A group of militants from Pakistan and Afghanistan have pledged allegiance to the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria after beheading a Pakistani soldier in an online video. A report.
A breakaway faction of the Pakistan and the Afghan Taliban on Sunday released a video pledging allegiance to the Middle East-based insurgents. Led by the former spokesperson of the Tehreek-e-Taliban, Shahidullah Shahid, dozens of militant commanders are seen waving the Islamic State's black flag in the video. Shahid was recently ousted from the militia after he, along with a few others, promised loyalty to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi in October last year. Following the lines of the IS, the Taliban video also shows the beheading of a captive whom they claimed was a Pakistani soldier.
نعلمكم بأننا جمعنا أمراء 10 مجموعات من الذين يريدون بيعة الخليفة أبي بكر البغدادي القرشي الحسيني حفظه الله.
The video also comes a day after another faction of the Taliban claimed responsibility for a terror attack on a minority Shia mosque in garrison town of Rawalpindi which killed 7 people. The growing presence of the Islamic State across Pakistan comes at a time when the Nawaz Sharif government continues to be in a denial mode. Wall-chalking posters and pamphlets have been springing up across Pakistan supporting the jihadi group. Intelligence agencies had also warned of the IS trying to make foothold in Pakistan through local terror outfits.
Delhi is set to vote for electing its new provincial assembly on February 7th. The Election Commission announced a schedule for the upcoming crucial polls on Monday. The national capital has been under the president's rule ever since February 2014, when the then Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal put down his papers. The main fight is expected to be between the federal ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party. While the BJP is eyeing a comeback to power in Delhi after a gap of 16 years, the AAP will be trying a second term after its 49-day government resigned on February 14th last year. The results for the 70-member House will be announced on February 10th. The death toll in the head-on collision between a bus and an oil tanker in southern Pakistan rose to 62 on Monday. The fatal accident over the weekend left the bodies burnt beyond recognition, making identification difficult.
Relatives continue to remain helpless as they wait to reclaim bodies of their kin. Rescue teams have shifted scores of victims to nearby hospitals for DNA tests and identification of the bodies burnt in the fiery blaze. Many complained of mismanagement and lack of information from the authorities.
यहाँ डॉक्टर आया अभी तक ना किसी ने हमें ये बोला कि चलो यहाँ पर सैंपल दो ना किसी और शख्स ने आके बोला कि तुम यहाँ बैठो.
The mishap took place on a highway in Pakistan's Sindh province, some 300 miles north of commercial hub Karachi, in the early hours on Sunday. The head-on collision between a bus and a speeding oil tanker, which later caught fire, also killed scores of women and children. Pakistan has an appalling record of deadly traffic accidents, which are mostly caused by bad roads, poorly maintained vehicles, and reckless driving.
As the war-torn Afghanistan continues to grapple between the Taliban violence and the withdrawing NATO forces, its people got a new lease for life in the form of an amusement park, the first of its kind in the country ever.
Excitement seems to be soaring in Afghan capital Kabul as the residents welcome the country's first ever amusement park. Offering a rare escape to the lives of people blighted by war, the park offers traditional fairground rides, including a Ferris wheel, bumper cars and other activities like face painting. Park owners said the aim was to help people ease their memories from political chaos and war.
بخصوص د کابل د اوسیدونکو لپاره د تفریح داسې یو نږدې ځای نو موږ په همدغه فکر کې شو چې د دوی لپاره موږ وکولی شو چې څو لحظو لپاره د دوی په شونډو باندې مسکا راولو او د دوی لپاره د ساتیرۍ او د سرګرمۍ یو ساحه ورته برابره شي.
The place of recreation also has an oasis of color in the otherwise grey concrete. Squealing with excitement, hundreds continue to flock the rides to relax and spend time with their loved ones.
والا احساس خوب داریم احساس خوشی داریم که پارک از ملک ما آبادی است اگر هر چی جور شده ملک ما کمی اضافه تر خود جنگ و چیز است خو برای تفریح جای داریم ولی احساس خوشی داریم.
Afghanistan, which has been roiled by an insurgency for over 3 decades now, is taking such leisure means to spread positivity in the light of a new government and the withdrawal of combat troops.
That's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Peshawar Army School reopens nearly a month after the deadly Taliban attack. John Kerry sets agenda ahead of US President Barack Obama's India visit. And India's national capital to vote for new assembly on February 7th. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.